I have traveled to the world's best food country. How do I know it's the best? Well, Gordon Ramsay said so.
It is my pleasure to finally announce the #1 cuisine across the planet is Moroccan cuisine.
Today, after trying this country's most iconic dishes, I'll decide if Morocco truly should carry the crown of best food country.
This is not the food I was expecting to be trying here in Morocco. This thing is a beast.
And by the end of this video, I'll be taking on the food Chef Ramsay claimed to be his favorite in all of Morocco.
He said this was one of his favorite foods, not just of Morocco, but period.
I've met him in 2019.
Really?
Yes.
I think he's avoiding me.
Our journey begins here in the city of Fez, a place where history and flavor collide inside a maze of narrow streets and alleyways. Each one scented with the earthy tang of preserved lemons or smoky grilled meats. This is the Medina, an ancient walled city over 1,000 years old. Walking through these passageways feels like stepping back in time. Here, food isn't just sustenance, it's storytelling, with each dish reciting a chapter of Morocco's history. So, we might as well start at the beginning.
It's gonna be my first time trying Moroccan food.
Yeah.
Fatima, how you doing?
Good.
Joining me, our local guide, Fatima, born and raised in the city of Fez.
Right here, we have some coming fresh out the oven.
This is the normal bread. We call them khobz. This is our spoon in Morocco.
This communal oven makes a type of bread that's a staple in Moroccan cuisine. You'll find it everywhere, but its story begins here.
How old is this place right here?
This is like from 17th century.
That sounds old.
Made with just wheat flour, yeast, and salted water, it's baked in an ancient hand-built oven, fueled by cedar wood, giving it a distinct flavor and aroma.
And so I guess the big question is, why have a communal oven?
Because some houses, there is no like a big place to put an oven in. So they make the dough at home and they bring it here. Also, they can bring like their tagines, their spleen, heart, chicken, cake, anything.
I mean, nothing better than an oven with a spleen and a cake side by side.
Yes.
That sounds amazing.
Take a look here. Okay, there you go. A fish tagine. Do you want to help?
Sure.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
For like 20-25 minutes and they will come back for it later.
There you go. This is wild. So somebody just made that at home. They brought it here, and
Yes.
he's gonna bake it up. And then he has some kind of internal clock, so he knows how long all the food has been inside.
Yes.
That's remarkable. Is that one for me? Thank you, my guy. Ooh. Oh yeah. You know what? They told me it might be hot. Can I tell you? Pretty hot. Yes. Take a look how steamy that is. Here you go.
Thank you.
Let's go for it. Oh yeah.
Can you taste the wood flavor?
Good question. A little bit. It's a little bit different than like a gas oven. I would say especially in the texture. Maybe not as much in the flavor for me, but in the way that it feels. What do you think?
I used to it
You've had this, what, every day for your whole life?
5 times a day.
No, the only thing that's missing, really, flavor. And that's why we're headed to our next destination.
Yes.
To find out if Moroccan cuisine truly deserves the title of best in the world, I need to dig into its most iconic dishes. First up, a dish with a cooking method so unique you won't find it anywhere else. We're about to get our first taste of Moroccan cuisine here at a restaurant known as The Second Wife. To my side, we have a traditional Moroccan barbecue firing away, but we are not here for that. Oh no, my friend. We are here for one of the most iconic Moroccan dishes you will find in this country, right here, the tagine. This is it in its final form. But how did we get here? Let's go find out. There are countless variations of tagine, but at this restaurant, you can choose from the classics: beef, lamb, or chicken. First, garlic, parsley, salt, pepper, ground ginger, turmeric, and olive oil are added to the base. The whole mix is then buried under a layer of onions before moving on to the next step. For the vegetables, it's a colorful lineup of potatoes, zucchini, carrots, and green beans, all arranged in a neat wall around the coveted protein. To top it off, a slice of lemon and tomato. All right, folks, our tagine is fully constructed and it's ready to meet some heat. This is amazing because this is both a cooking tool and a type of dish. And how it works is you heat the base and then the heat slowly rises up the center of the cone and drips down. It creates a self-basting environment, which is perfect for slow cooking meats like chicken or like what we have today, goat. Before we reveal the final result, How about some food for your soul?
Thank you to BetterHelp for being a paid partner of this video. For years, I've been telling you to try BetterHelp, and now I've signed up too. And let me tell you, it was really simple. I just answered a few questions, and within a couple days, I had a credentialed therapist. There was no paperwork. There was no, we'll get back to you when we have an open slot. It was just, boom, here's your therapist. Time to get started. Since my schedule is pure chaos, I needed something flexible. I'm constantly traveling, bouncing between time zones, and spending way too much time trying to explain to airport security why I have an entire bag of dried fish. The idea of committing to a set weekly in-person session is not gonna happen. But with BetterHelp, I can schedule sessions whenever I have time, and I don't have to rearrange my life to do it. This is why online therapy makes sense. BetterHelp connects you with a therapist wherever you are. No racing across town, no sitting in a waiting room sitting next to a guy coughing into his elbow. Just you and your therapist speaking through video, phone, or even messaging, whatever works for you. Even though my therapist was on a different continent, I had a session between shoots and it was way easier than I expected. I could probably do one in the back of a tuk-tuk, but I wouldn't want to stress out the driver with all my problems. The best part is that if I feel at any point the therapist is not a good match, switching is free and easy. BetterHelp also has a built-in journal and group sessions on real topics you might actually relate to. Don't let your schedule be the reason you put off therapy. Go to betterhelp.com/besteverfood or scan the QR code on the screen. Use the code BestEverFoodReviewShow for a special discount on your first month. Because if I can fit therapy in between time zones, jet lag, and filming in the middle of nowhere, then you can definitely do it too. Now, back to the show. Fatima, my first taste of Moroccan cuisine awaits. Before we open these up, I want to tell you a little bit about my mission today. Gordon Ramsay says that Moroccan cuisine is the best in the world. Now, to be fair, I think he was kind of reporting it. There was a big vote put out on a website called puberty.com. They amassed millions of views, and at the end of it all, among many dozens of countries, it was voted that Moroccan cuisine was the best in the world.
What do you think?
By the end of today, I'm going to find out for myself if this is true.
Sure.
It's very robust, full of stuff. Soon we'll be building up to something else right here, but first we have the chicken with the vegetables.
Let's go for the bread.
Take the bread, break the bread.
And then we dip it.
We should not have two tagines. Same great bread. I can taste olive oil, I can taste the lemon. So at what point do we like...
Go to inside?
Yeah.
Normally we need to finish the whole veggies, and then we go to the inside.
Oh, really?
Normally.
So this whole time you are not using a fork?
No.
Really?
At all.
How's that like?
Not Moroccan.
I can't do anything right.
No, but you're good.
I'm amazed by this meal. I'm surprised. I had a preconceived notion of how this was gonna work, and it's not working out that way at all.
Try to mix chicken and something else. Careful, there is a bone in here.
Oh, thank you. Wow. When you get to the center, you get that meat, you get the caramelized onions, and the meat that's been cooking right up against that clay. Super good. So that is the chicken, but we also have one more tagine I want to try.
This is goat meat with caramelized prunes, a mix between savory and sweet.
I got my little bread gloves, and there's kind of a soupy broth.
Weird.
It's a new sensation. Something I've never had before, but all those flavors work together beautifully. But it's very sweet.
Some people don't accept like meat with something sweet. But in Morocco, it's very normal and very famous.
I accept all types of meat.
Cool.
Thank you. So I want to try to peel back some of this meat with the bread. Ooh, look at that. It's very goaty, plus just all this sweet stuff surrounding it. So it's sweet, it's savory, it's fatty. Somehow a walnut snuck in there. I got nuts in my mouth. It's everything all at the same time. A very new experience, I gotta say. It's so complex and so different, and I've never had anything like this before.
Soon I'll be tracking down one of Morocco's most precarious pastries.
Nothing here would indicate to me that this is anything but a dessert. Meanwhile, inside, it's full of pigeon meat, and not just any type of pigeon, like a teenager pigeon.
But first, I'm heading back to the Medina to check off another Moroccan must-try food.
We have come to our next restaurant, a restaurant specializing in a dish known as couscous. Couscous, the base of it begins with this right here. This is semolina flour. But what is semolina?
Yellow semolina, it's very famous, coming from wheat.
It comes from wheat?
Known for its distinct yellow hue and high protein content, semolina on its own can be a bit rough, but mixing it with salt, olive oil, water, and white flour create a perfect balance of soft and firm, a texture that's just right for making proper couscous.
Couscous is a traditional dish. Friday is a Muslim holiday, so we make normally a couscous for the whole family, and we share.
Making couscous is a labor-intensive process with origins dating back a millennia, often traced to the Berber people of Algeria and Morocco.
There's some tread. As she moves the couscous around, these bigger balls are becoming smaller balls because you don't want big chunks, but you also don't want to put in too much water and get like one big glob, and you also don't want dust like this. You need the perfect texture for the couscous. This is the final result right here. It looks amazing. From a super thin flour to these tiny balls. It feels damp, it feels kind of grippy. That's a weird word. Like if you were gonna lift weights or do pull-ups, you could put this on your hands first. So this is the base, this is the foundation of our dish, but there's a lot more to do coming up next. Let's get to it.
In a pot, beef, onions, salt, pepper, turmeric, tomato, chickpeas, olive oil, parsley, and some water come together. But it's not truly Moroccan until you throw in a load of vegetables, like cabbage, carrots, radish, potatoes, zucchini, eggplant, pumpkin, and of course, even more tomato. Above the stew, a steaming vessel is placed on the same pot. This clever setup, called a couscousier, uses the heat and steam from the bubbling stew below to cook the couscous to fluffy perfection.
The couscous is just a small part of the entire presentation, but on top of it, there are so many different vegetables. This is like real farm food, I feel like. Would you agree with that assessment? Perfect. That's what I do too. When I don't understand something, I do an uncomfortable laugh, and then I look like, did that satisfy? We good? From here, she's putting on a sweet element, caramelized onion and raisins, and I'm finally gonna get to try out this beauty. Fatima has moved on to our next location to secure the animal for our next food, which is a live pigeon. More on that soon, but first, the couscous, a fortress of vegetables. Deep in the core, there is meat. But like the tagine, they make you work your way through the vegetables to get to the protein. What is that, a zucchini? Good carrot. We have the cabbage, and I feel like you could spice that up with some of this on top, the onions and raisins. Oh yeah, what a combination. Of course, the raisins are sweet, but I'm noticing that in Morocco so far, they love to caramelize onions and to use it as a sweet force within the dish. This is what I'm really curious to try, the actual couscous itself. The couscous doesn't have a ton of flavor, but it's a kind of a flavor vehicle. You put other flavors on there and it just offers this wonderful texture, and it's a nice carbohydrate base. Meanwhile, we've got soup on the side right here. That broth, I'm gonna give that a little bit of a sip. Oh yeah. And what I'm told is you can actually dump some of this soup. You can really saturate that couscous in those delicious flavors. Oh yeah. The couscous really effectively saturates or soaks up all those flavors. So far, we've just had vegetables and the couscous, but inside, as you dig deep into the core of this dish, you will reveal the meat. We've got beef right here, more, ow, so hot. Okay, there you go. How is that 10 out of 10 hot still? It tastes amazing. I love it. And the fattier the beef, the better. With as many countries as I've been to, I'm still seeing new ways of cooking and different ways of utilizing savory and sweet elements and combining them into something like this. So this is couscous, but I am still well on my way to figuring out if Moroccan cuisine is really the best in the world, as voted on by millions of people on puberty.com. And our next food actually includes the use of a pigeon. Before we head to the restaurant, we are headed to the market to actually source this animal for ourselves. From the couscous, we are headed to our next destination, which brings us even deeper into the Medina. Right now, we are surrounded by markets which have things like this, hanging food, but I'm looking for something much more alive. Come with me. Deep down this alleyway here, you will find a man serving birds. This guy right here. Hello, salam. You got those pigeons? Oh, okay. I'm gonna try to access his bird room right now. Okay, can you hold me? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, okay, thank you. Shukran, shukran. All right, guys, come in. You're next. Right now I'm with my man Hisham, and he is the bird guy, the bird dealer. He's got birds of a few different types. If you look down here, a load of different chickens to choose from. And when I say choose from, I mean you can literally point to which chicken you want and he will, right?
Yes.
Yes. Besides the chickens, he also has these right here, pigeons. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, wow, that's a scraggly one. I'm a huge fan of countries where they eat pigeon. It's one of those birds I feel like it's underutilized, it's looked down on by many parts of the world, but why not embrace the pigeon? It's like a quail, except I think it flies better. From here, we're gonna round up about 6 to 8 of these pigeons, but first he's got to, right?
Yes.
If you haven't noticed, all the meat we've eaten today has been prepared the halal way, following Islamic rules, and it's no different for these pigeons. The chef who I'll be meeting soon has requested that I procure the most premium preteen pigeons.
We have just come back from the bird butcher and our pile of pigeons is right there, and that soon is going to be cooked up by Siaj right here.
Hi, nice to meet you. You're welcome.
Should I say pastilla or pastilla?
Moroccan, we say pastilla.
Is this a meal, a snack, or a dessert?
A lot of people think it's a dessert, but it's a meal.
What's the most common type of meat to put inside?
Pigeon is very traditional, but chicken is a regular eat.
Let's get to cooking. Thank you.
First, the pigeons are marinated with turmeric, ground ginger, salt, garlic, parsley, olive oil, saffron, and water. Once cooked, the meat is carefully picked off the bones, preparing it for the next step. In another pot, caramelized onions are cooked with flour, ground ginger, and eggs. This sweet, savory mixture is then combined with the pigeon meat, creating a rich, flavorful filling. Now onto the pastry. In the streets of the Medina, dough is pressed and coated with olive oil, then placed on a unique, dome-like cooking implement that heats it evenly all the way through. For assembly, a few sheets of pastry brushed with egg yolk form the base. The meat mixture is added next, followed by another sheet of pastry to seal it in. The whole thing is wrapped tightly and sent to the oven. Once baked, the pastry is brushed with honey, topped with almonds, some Moroccan puff pastries in the center, rose petals, a sprinkle of ground cinnamon, and finally a dusting of powdered sugar. The result, a complex pastry with a serious identity crisis.
Let's get into it. I'm gonna stab it right in the middle and bring the hammer down. Oh yeah. If the pigeon wasn't dead before, it's definitely dead now. Oh, there we go. Incredible. Here we've got that crunchy top. We've got that pigeon meat in the middle along with all those seasonings. There's so many different flavors. The egg is giving it a lot of body. Then there is some pigeon meat in there, but it's not super distinct which pieces are pigeon meat and which aren't. Once you peel back that top layer, you can see these big chunks of pigeon meat. Pigeon veal. Now I know why they have to be so young. It's so tender. It's so juicy. This is one of those dishes, I'm really trying to think hard of what I could compare it to. I got nothing. It's a pastry, it's a dessert, it's a breakfast kind of, it's a meat pie, it's all of those things at one time, yet somehow it works. There's a harmony. There's no flavor that's standing out far too much. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit savory. It's all the flavors you never knew you wanted together. I didn't know something like this could exist, and yet, here it is. The more I taste, the more I experience from this country, I don't feel like I'm able to pin down the cuisine. I feel even more lost. So from here, we are headed to one more location. And this location is really important because we're going to somebody's house to eat the food that is one of Gordon Ramsay's favorite in all of Morocco. Hopefully this last food puts the nail in the food coffin and I will know for sure if Moroccan cuisine is truly the best in the world. Let's head there and find out.
Having visited over 60 different countries in search of food, I've learned one thing. Nothing beats a home-cooked meal if you want to truly experience a country's culinary soul.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Shamba,
Yeah.
you've outdone yourself. This looks amazing. This is the food that Gordon Ramsay said this was one of his favorite foods, not just of Morocco, but period.
I've met him in 2019.
Really?
Yes.
I think he's avoiding me. How long did you talk to him?
Just like for 30 minutes.
And you got to meet him too?
Not really.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The star of Rfissa is chicken, marinated in a fragrant mix of ginger, black pepper, turmeric, onion, and olive oil. The marinated chicken is then cooked with more onion, olive oil, a local legume called fenugreek, ground turmeric, ginger, and water, creating a rich aromatic broth.
When are people eating Rfissa here? Because I was told that we could try to find this in a restaurant, but it's not really going to be possible.
Once cooked, the chickens are transferred to another pot, and the onions in the broth are caramelized, making them even more sweet and flavorful.
We do make rfissa in some special occasions, like celebrating the baby born.
The birth of a child.
Yeah. Or you do have some VIP.
Are you telling me this is something that might come up a few times in your life?
It's very special for these occasions.
I see.
But outside of those occasions, they cook it.
Now for the assembly. Large pieces of flatbread are hand shredded and laid at the base of the platter, ready to soak up the rich flavors of the chicken. The chicken stew poured on top, and of course, sweet clumps of caramelized onions. The platter is then adorned with fried almonds, dates stuffed with nuts and dried rosebuds, apricots filled with walnuts, quail eggs dusted with chia seeds, and roses nestled in pastry. Then there's garlic and boiled quail eggs, also coated with chia seeds.
So there's 3 chickens on here.
Triplets.
We're also kind of celebrating the birth of these chickens too.
They're dead.
Well, okay, that's a fair point. This is a quail egg covered with chia seeds. Very nice.
The garlic.
Take 1 clove.
Squeeze it.
Oh, okay. Extract the garlic.
Yes. Mix it with the bread.
This is good. I can't believe how flavorful that bread is. It still holds its texture. So some parts are soggy and mushy, but some are kind of more chewy. It has a wonderful texture. Here, I've got some chicken. The chicken is succulent and soft. Onions. I love onions. I like them raw. I like them like this. They're caramelized, they're sweet. And then when you mix everything with that bread, it just gives it that carbohydrate layer to go with everything. I'm blown away. It's my favorite thing I've eaten all day. Unbelievable. It's so good.
I'm glad you like it.
Do you feel like Moroccan cuisine has a widespread reputation? I mean, do you think people know about it all around the world?
Yes, of course.
Why do you think Moroccan cuisine is so well known?
For me, I think because Morocco is very known by Moroccan cooking classes and everyone is like very curious about the cuisine. Or just because it's...
Maybe because the Moroccans are everywhere.
Yes.
That makes a big difference too. What is it about Moroccan cuisine that you can't get from other food around the world?
What attracts a lot of clients more is hospitality. We are very known that we are the most hospitable people. So once you go to a house, you always get welcomed by tea and pastries.
It goes beyond the food.
Well, beyond the food, of course.
This morning I set out with the mission of trying to figure out if Morocco really does have the best cuisine in the world. I've had a lot of good and interesting food throughout the day. It is tough to summarize somebody's cuisine in a day. It's such a subjective thing to say that this is the best or this is the best. But for you, Shema, do you believe Moroccan cuisine is the best, or is it just up to people's subjective opinion?
For me, isn't it about like subjective opinion? It is the best.
Oh yeah?
100%.
What's second best?
Italian.
Okay. Moroccan, Italian. Do you have a third place?
Asian food.
Just all of the Asia.
Yes.
Fantastic. So we reached consensus. People on the comments, you guys can duke it out for yourselves. I was gonna try to figure it out for myself, but Shema, thank you.
You're welcome.
This was an amazing meal, but an even better experience and incredible hospitality. So, shukran.
Marhaba.
Today I started out with the mission to figure out whether Moroccan cuisine is truly the best in the world, as voted on by puberty.com. By now it seems like they're paying me. They are not, although if they'd like to, please do. What I've realized from today is after having about 5 different dishes for the first time in Morocco, I have not gathered enough data. This is a perplexing, deep, historical cuisine. This is a cuisine that you cannot figure out in one day. It's like my palate is confused, but it's excited and tantalized at the same time. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend another week in Morocco to figure out if this is indeed the best cuisine in the world. And not only that, I'm gonna move to Casablanca, I'm gonna move to Essaouira, and I'm gonna go to Marrakesh. And finally, by the end of this tour, it will be revealed to me, and then to you, whether or not this country truly does have the best cuisine in the world. Or if puberty.com just has a lot of Moroccan viewers.
Hungry for more fun food videos? Join me at More Best Ever Food Review Show, a channel that's unfiltered, raw, half the quality, and twice the fun.
You walk away and come back. Oh, look, the server.
Subscribe now and you probably won't regret it.
On the outside, it certainly has some rough texture to it. This is like a, medium grade sandpaper if you had to refinish your car or something. And the chicken has a little bit less fat content. But here, oh look, a horse.
That's a mule.
Okay. When is the last time you tried this?
I've tried it with my last client 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like very official business. Very flavorful. People aren't just deep-throating carrots, are they? I shouldn't say deep-throating. And before we go, I want to say a huge thank you to Fatima for joining me today. She is a tour guide here in Fez, and you can actually book your own tour with her on her website, fabfeztours.com.
So on my website, you will find all different kinds of tours, which is history tours, like Jewish heritage tours, artisanal tour, photography tours, food tours. And thanks to Sani for being here. It was an honor to be with you. We'll see you maybe again, inshallah.
Inshallah. Otherwise, that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace. All right, that is it.
Good.
I'm gonna go find some more bread. I didn't get enough bread
Okay.
today.